back to Classic Movement. My name is James. I'm a video game artist by trade, but here on YouTube, I'm just an illustrator trying to improve my skills. And normally I draw t-shirt designs with an automotive twist. But today we have something a little bit different planned because it was my birthday over the weekend and I hit 50. So I hit the big 50, and I figured, you know what? Normally we receive gifts for a birthday, but I'm kind of over that. I kind of like giving more than receiving these days. And I figured this artwork would be my gift to you guys. And I'd also like to give you guys some general advice on what it's like to be 50 and what to look out for, and see if there's something in there that might help you guys, on your journey. So let's take a look at the artwork. What you're looking at here is basically the first day I was born. That's the theme behind the image, and you have my mom holding me in her arms, and my dad is hugging her from behind, and you got my older brother sitting there on the bed watching. And it's the best day of my life, the day I was born, but it's unfortunately probably my brother's worst day because now he has to share the spotlight with me. And I was born in Royal Victoria Hospital on April 3rd, 1976 at 9:30, 9:45, not quite sure. My mom is fuzzy on the time. And everything in here is pretty accurate, although I'm not sure my brother was there. He might have been at home being babysat by my grandma. I'm not sure. The year I was born was 1976, so that was the year of the Olympics in Montreal, and my dad always remembered it that way. So that's why I on the television there, you see Montreal Olympics coming, because this was April and it was the Summer Olympics. So I decided to add that part of my story into the image. And on top of the television, you have the Bible, which says La Bible, so it's a French Bible, because my parents would basically drop the Bible on a bed and then read from it, and the first name on the page would be the name we would get. So I was named Jacques because of French Bible, and my dad wasn't too keen on that, and my mom reminded him that Jacques in the English Bible was James, and that became my name, and I really love my name. I think it's cool. So that's pretty much it. You see the clock on the wall, and you see it's pointing to 10:30. So I try to get that little detail in there, and it's got a pinkish and purplish kind of hues going because I want to give it like a whimsical kind of feel. I'm really cool. It's really cool. That's normally I would go into a time-lapse video and show you guys the whole process, but I really want to get into the advice part of the video. So let's just go to that right now. I'm going to bring up my notes because I wrote down a lot of stuff. I'm going to try to go quickly through this. I'm going to drink a little bit of water. First off, if you're wondering what life at 50 is like, it's great. For me personally, it's been great. Not perfect, because it's never been perfect anyways. From the age of 0 to now, it's never been perfect, but it's really, really good. Most of the things I wanted in my life, I've achieved. Everything from this point on now, it feels like it's gravy. The one part of it that is unpleasant is I have more physical issues that crept in the last couple of years. From 45, or at age 45, things I hurt my back. It's not getting better. I have some arthritis coming into my back as well, so I have to work to keep these things manageable, but they are manageable. And then I started getting stressed over it, and I started developing some acid in my throat, and I don't know what to do about it, but I'm not complaining. I have it way better than a lot of people out there, and it's just a fact of life. And I'm fully functional, at the end of the day. So, and we're doing well. My wife and I love each other more than ever. We love each other a little bit more every day, and we do stuff together. We have some money set aside. We're comfortable. We both have jobs. We have good friends. There's really, really nothing to complain about. So life at 50 is really, really good, and I'm hoping to maintain this for a long time. But I know the fact of life is, things degrade, but I'm in a good place. That's what I can tell you. Life at 50 is pretty good. We didn't have any kids by now. They will probably would have been all grown up anyways. And I'm gonna give you guys now some advice, and we're gonna start on age categories because I want to help everybody out there. And I'm gonna try to go this as quick as possible because I don't want to make the longest video in the world here. But let's say you're 10 years old, okay, or less. What I would say to you is play, play, play. Use your imagination. Go out there, play with your friends, your brothers and sisters. Enjoy every moment. Everything is new to you at this point, so go out there and experience it all. I envy you because you're gonna taste ice cream for the first time, and you're gonna get on your first bicycle and all this stuff. This is the best, really. You have no worries in this world. You shouldn't have any at all. Listen to your parents, eat your vegetables, don't lie, and just enjoy it. It's really good. That's a really great part of life. Was the first 10 years I found were spectacular. Plus you're growing, you're getting stronger, you feel yourself getting smarter. I still remember that. And you're discovering a lot about the world, so it's a lot of discovery. It's really cool. From 10 to 20 is where my life really starts to happen. Basically the fun kind of starts to go away now. I became self-aware of my own death, and I also became aware of the possibility of my family members dying as well. And it started to affect me. I had a lot of anxiety, a lot of sleepless nights in my bed as a child, thinking about these things. And it did really hurt a lot. I didn't really talk about it all that much. So if you have these thoughts, I would suggest that you talk to your parents about them. I don't know if I did, but the truth is nobody has an answer. That's that when you find out that actually nobody really has an answer. A lot of times my parents, I think they would point to our religion for answers. And the truth is there's no reason to fear it, because if you live, you're gonna die. Everything that lives dies. That's how it goes. And in my experience over time, what I can tell you is every time something bad or something I feared would happen that was negative, there was always something good on the other side. And I'm under the belief now that if when we go, we might be fearing that for no reason. There might be something really great on the other side of it, and we don't know. That's the truth also. So there's really no point in worrying about it too much. So about losing family members though, uh for me, what got rid of that, or not well, what helped, and I it's sad to say, well, was when my father passed away, because he was the first one to pass away. That was the unexpected punch to the face that I got. I was fearing people in my family dying, and it turned out my father was the first one to die, and he died when I was 19. And when it happened, obviously your whole world crumbles. But the consequences of him dying was that everyone who died after him didn't hurt nearly as much. I didn't feel nearly as much pain. The cut was not as deep. And it's like my father basically prepared me, whether he intended to to teach me that lesson or not. He basically prepared me for the heartache that's gonna come when people go. And if uh, if you guys still have your parents in the picture, I really wish that you spend time with them, try to understand them. I know it's hard at this age. If you're between 10 and 15 or 10 and 20, I was rebellious also, and I bumped heads with my dad, but he knew I loved him. But there's nothing I wouldn't do today to spend a few more minutes with him if I could. So keep that in mind. The fear, this is all fear, guys. You don't have answers, so there's more fear coming in. The other fear I had was I had to find a job. People start putting pressure on you to get a job and what you're going to do in the future. You don't always have an answer, and it was hard for me to deal with that. I had a talent for drawing, and I didn't know how to make money with it. And things worked out. It just worked out. I followed my heart. I listened to the people in my circle. I had a teacher that was in my corner, and I shared my fears with her, and she told me, if you want to do art with your life, go to art school, and you'll bump into somebody you already know, and they'll put you on your path. She gave me some really specific, detailed advice that till this day I'm still mystified over how precise it was, because it basically worked out exactly as she said. I bumped into a friend that was in high school with me in that class that I was in with that teacher, and he told me about this school, and video games were about to boom in Montreal, and I went to the school. I bet $20,000 on myself because I didn't have the money for the cost of it. My father didn't have it, and it worked out. It's everything just fell into place. But of course, after once I got into my 20s, the fear became, what if I lose my job? So the fear never ended, really. It's like I just passed it on to something else. Your brain is often wired to be afraid of everything. So in your 20s, the best bit of advice I can say, there's a lot of things I can say, but in my 20s, I wish I had learned more about how money worked. I made a couple of discoveries in my 20s. One, school did not prepare me at all for how money works in this world. They teach you how to read and write, but I find it very sad that we don't teach kids finances, the real finances. They show you how to pay a bill, but not how to generate money and investing and none of that. It's really sad. So my biggest advice for somebody in their 20s, invest your money, whether it be low cost index funds or real estate, or I mean, if you want to take a risk and go with the bitcoins and stuff, which I don't recommend, just try to figure out a way to make your money grow for you. Uh, especially if you're an employee and your job could be cut at any moment. You need to create a nest egg as fast as you can. And I had the inkling to do it, but I didn't listen to my intuition. I didn't follow through. I didn't surround myself with the people that were interested in money either. Had I done that, I probably would have. But because we're so afraid of losing our money and not and making the wrong move, we don't make the we hold on to our money and we don't make the right decisions. So it's not a regret because things are good now, but I could have been way ahead if I had started early. Time is your number one friend when you're investing. And I would suggest anybody in their 20s to please put some money aside. And you're going to say how much, it doesn't matter. The earlier you put it, the more it compounds. I tell all my younger friends this. I'm sitting in my dream car right now. I go to car meets and I meet a lot of young guys. And when I find a good kid, I always tell them, listen, guy, stop putting so much money on your car. Put some, aside. It's not just for retirement. It has an it has this unintended consequence of, even though let's say you need $2 million, let's say, to retire, imaginary number. If you start saving up and you get to your 40s and 50s and you're far from that, you only have $500,000, let's say, you're like really far from it. You're on target for the 2 million, let's say, it doesn't matter. You're just knowing you have $500,000 is going to make you feel already better every day when you wake up, knowing that if something happened, you have this money. So it's not just retirement, it's just the feeling, the safety feeling. For me, that's what the best part of having money is, just having enough so it makes me feel like I could take a bump or two. And I've taken a few bumps. In my 20s, I feared not what I was going to do for a living. Then when I got my job, I feared of losing my job. And sure enough, I did lose my job. And, my dad wasn't there to help me. Bad things are going to happen. If I had money set aside, I would have panicked a lot less. So, the other thing you get ready for, and my father passed away, so he didn't have a chance to help me out through this moment. But I found out that he raised me really well, and I just had this assumption that the world was filled with people like me. And there are some good people out there, but the truth is, he didn't prepare me for the fact that it was surrounded by sharks, and they're everywhere. And when you're young and you're trading dollars for services, it's incredible how many of them will capitalize on the fact that you're younger and they'll take advantage of you. And my advice to you guys in your 20s, now you're investing, don't forget to invest. But when you're spending also, because you have to buy things, cars, houses, things like that, the higher the ticket item, the more you need to slow down. Be careful, do your research, inspect, do inspections. I could tell you guys stories where I bought a car that was rolled back like 100,000 kilometers, and I bought a house where the walls were paper thin and I could hear neighbors through them, and I fought. I protected myself too late, but I just wasn't expecting this kind of level of dishonesty from people, and it's gonna hit you hard. So get ready for that. People are dishonest, and just keep that in mind. The higher the ticket item, the more go slower and do your research. You'll be okay. Besides that, try just stay positive. Take it slow. Don't stay out of debt. I think we're told that it's okay to be in debt. It's not. You cannot invest if you're in debt. You need to make sure you could always invest. So if it means that you can't buy a new car, then don't buy a new car, buy an older car. If it means it has to wait a couple of weeks before you could buy that washing machine, wait. We have credit cards. We don't use them. I suggest everybody to have like a kind of emergency fund. I did this earlier on, and I dip into this money and I replenish it. I pay myself back basically on my own terms, at my own speed, but I'm always filling it up, and it keeps me away from credit cards. Some people might disagree with that. They might say credit cards are good. I'm not gonna, but I personally don't think. I think credit cards are a trap. I think you should be careful. Try to not use your parents. It's very, see, the fact that my father died also made sure that I could never depend on any kind of help whatsoever. So I was that high wire circus act that needed to cross the steel wire and not fall. And when you have that net below you, chances are you will fall. But not having a net, my dad not being there, and not relying on credit cards, because that's a trap. You have to be very careful and go slower and make sure that every step counts. So that's pretty much the advice I would say for a 20-year-old. You should also possibly towards the end of your 20s, if it's possible, of course. I think it's harder now to buy a home. I bought my home in my late 20s. It was possible. I know, guys, it's hard. I don't know what to tell you guys. If it means you pair up with your brothers or some cousins to buy a house, I would do that. I think I would do that today, just to get my feet wet, just to get into because buying a house was the best thing that happened to me as well. It's taken on a lot of value, and I don't see them going down in value, honestly. So I would suggest doing that. Also, in your 20s and 30s, I could dedicate the entire video to this, but how important it is, if you're lucky and you find love, to choose the right person. I dated a few girls. I knew what I liked and didn't like. After only 2 or 3 girls, I already and I found the right girl early in my 20s, and it was immediately apparent to me she was perfect, because she was a low maintenance, simple girl who just wanted to be with me, didn't have a lot of expectations, but believed in me. That's what I was looking for. She had all of those qualities, and she grew up kind of like me. She lost a parent early. She understands that pain. For her, it was her mom, and we understood each other. We also grew up on the poor side, so when things get tight, we are both able to tighten our belts, and we don't fight. Have a great relationship. We Our arguments in the early years used to be about money sometimes, because I would be so scared of the budget, going over budget, and I would try to keep her in check. But honestly, since things got better on the financial side, there's no reason to fight anymore. So there you go. But find the right person, and make sure you choose wisely. Your whole life is impacted by that one person. So let me take a little drink of water. Feed your mind the best quality thoughts, even if it's delusional. So the entire time you're working, make sure that you work towards your dreams. Don't forget to execute your dreams along the way. Don't let bad people get into your mind as well. Stay positive. Um, try to avoid being jealous, which is, you would think, oh, how do I do that? Everybody being jealous is a normal human reaction. It's it doesn't make you a bad person. In my career, I came across talented guys that I felt were way more talented than I was, and it would affect my mindset. And became very close friends with these people because I'm like, if maybe there's something I could learn from them. That's how I would look at it. And over time, being so close with them, I came to realize that they were also kind of jealous of me in other ways, because I had my strengths and they had theirs. So there's no point being jealous. And stay away from negative people who are going to try to hold you back and convince you that you're not as good, or just stay away from people who don't see your value as well. It's happened in my career where I worked at a place that tried to make me believe that I wasn't as good as I was. And I think it was for financial purposes they did that. They were trying to eliminate some people, but they were doing it in an indirect fashion. And for a split second, I let it almost destroy my self-worth. And I will never let that happen again. And I'm gonna tell you guys, don't ever stick around in a place where people put your skills in doubt, or doubt your capabilities. Stay away from people like that. It's only gonna work against you anyways. Let's talk about money, because we're talking about investing in when you're when you invest, you can invest in different things. Money is a necessary part of life, but what I would suggest is don't chase that money. Chasing it is kind of pointless. It's going to come to you slowly and progressively as you go through your career anyways. uh, the better way to execute is to work on yourself, improve your skills as you go, try to learn things that have value in the market, and that will increase your salary, that will increase your worth in the market. So and also work for yourself. If you're working on your working towards being an entrepreneur, having all these skills will work out better for you basically. So money is not happiness, I could tell you that. Money has never made me happy. It's just given me just a sense of security over time. Having some money now, I can tell you guys that I just sleep better, because it was such a heavy burden on me, and now I know that things can happen, and they probably will. I know that, but I'm in a position where I just sleep better. I think that's the best part of having a bit of money. So I just feel more secure in the future now, knowing that I can fall back and I'll have a few months or years of security before I'm completely out. The best part of money is to trade those dollars for experiences, and preferably experiences with people you love. So a good example would be spending $500 to go out on a track day with my best buddy and drive some Ferraris, let's say for an hour or two around. That's the kind of like a high cost but high return kind of deal I go for, because the moment will be permanently engraved in my mind. Going out to a nice dinner in a revolving restaurant that's going to cost me a couple $100, but I get to sit across uh, my girl and enjoy the moment with her. That's worth the extra money. Try to avoid buying things that aren't going to bring you. I'm sitting in my ultimate dream car here, and to some, it's just it does it make me happy. Driving it and sharing it with people is the most is actually, it's a good example. It's what gives me the happiness the most, is driving it with people who love this car as much as I do. And of course, when I'm alone, it's the place where I get centered and I feel successful in my life, and I accomplished something being in this car. But driving it and taking it around the corner, is it the fastest car in the world? No, but I don't care what people think. It's the car I wanted. I could have probably bought a much, much faster car, but I know myself and I don't need to prove anything to anybody else. People who make fun of it, or it's too, it's each has their own personalities and their own likes, and I'm here for me, not here for you. So remember that. So yeah, money buys experiences. That's how you should use money. Money also allows a couple to focus on each other. And the best example I can give here is Back to the Future. The end of the first movie, Marty made a little bit of a change there in the past, gave his father some confidence, and in the future, he obviously did something more of himself. And financially speaking, they look like they're doing much better, right? And are they more in love now because of the money? I don't think that's the case at all. I think what happened there is they were struggling for money for a long time, and she also didn't have, even though she chose him, he never really met his full potential. And when he met his full potential, it made her relationship with him stronger, to see her man having so much confidence. Women look for a man with confidence. It's a trait that most women look for. And the fact that they're no longer struggling for money, it removes the friction, and it allows a couple to just focus on each other and love each other. When money is tight, it's always in the way. So not you don't have to be a millionaire to avoid that problem. You just have to have enough so that it's never, in the way. So make sure of that. And when you lend money, don't expect to get it back. That's a big mistake. I learned this from my grandfather, who had lent some money and not gotten it back. And he told me, when you lend money, you're giving it. Just accept that. If you accept, because well, I can't, I won't go into detail, but it often, it just creates a rift when the person doesn't pay you back fast enough, or they're buying things and not paying you back, and you're wondering why they're not paying you back. Then it's going to cause issues. The better option is either you don't give the money at all, but if you do lend the money, just accept that you gave the money. It's a better approach. It's a better way of living. You're going to stress yourself out. So that's kind of good advice. If you see opportunities to make money along the way. And I'm going to share a quick story. I remember, because I was born in 76. I remember the computer age happened right before me. I was in my early years of my video game career. I made my first purchase on Amazon that wasn't a book. And the purchasing experience I had was so good. I was convinced. I was like, this is the future. This is definitely going to be how we're going to buy stuff. And I knew that at the time. And yet, I didn't take action on it, but I had the idea. I'm like, I should probably put some money on this company. And again, I hadn't gotten into investing at the time. So when you see an opportunity, you might do your homework and maybe invest some money into it. So keep your eye out open for opportunities like that. So that's all the advice I had for up until the age of 30. Try to buy a home. I know that's tough. It's really tough, especially these days. I would suggest you pair up with people that are interested in buying a home, people that you love and trust, and try to buy it together. That's the only thing I could suggest. Or stay with your parents a little longer, save up a little longer, and try to buy a house that's fully disconnected from people. I had nothing but bad experiences when I was connected with others. There's always problems. They're just, people aren't respectful of other people. That's what they're too worried about themselves. So I would suggest you buy a house that's detached if it's possible. But again, renting might be a good option these days, and put the rest of the money and invest it if it's possible. If there's a big difference in the price, then I would say watch out for users and fakes. This is in my late 30s. I started to do a cleanup in my life. People who would use me more than they should. They used my time and my patience up and my advice, but never was there for me. Or they were fake in making me believe that they were in my corner and wanted good things for me, but secretly they didn't. Stay away from those people. I started cutting out some people out of my life, and unfortunately I have more friends than family members now in my life, because a lot of them were family, and I removed them from my life. I'm still on the fence whether it was the best practice, but I like the idea that the people who are around me I've selected. They've been hand picked, and they make the cut. But if they display values that agree with and I can't get on board with, you only have one choice. Like when with the people in your life, it's the same one you have with your wife. How do you know you really love somebody true and true? Is their perfections don't bother you anymore. You love them exactly for who they are. People have their flaws and you have to accept them the way they are to keep them in your circle. If you don't accept them, you don't like those things, you have to let them go. So I let them go. So other than that, take care of your body. This is something you should be doing the whole time. It gets even more important as you age, though. When you get into your 40s, be careful for your back. I mentioned that, I think, in the beginning. A man tends to forget that he's getting weaker over time, parts of him anyway. And I did a bad move. And listen, I have a buddy that has a herniated disc because he bent over to put his socks on, and he was a young man. Now he managed to get it back into place, but I wasn't so lucky. I damaged mine way worse than that. So be careful. Be aware of the degradation of your body as you age. That's all the advice I have for somebody in their 40s and 50s. You should be pretty well set traveling and going to places, having a bit of money, but always staying out of debt the entire way, and buying the things you love, but also staying, again, always, it's balancing. You're always balancing your life to make money and spend money, but not too much money, and having all the money in the bank, but not experiencing life in your early days isn't any better. You're gonna miss out. So you're trying to do a bit of everything at the same time. That's how I'm approaching it anyway. So general advice that I have, and I think this just applies. I made a list here, and it kind of encompasses everything. Stay positive, complain less, accept the rain, put on your raincoat. You've heard this before. It's gonna rain, it's gonna snow, bad things are gonna happen. Just put on a smile. A bad thing can happen and a good thing could come out of it in return. A rainy day could be a great game night indoors with your family and create great memories. Life is like that. Bad things are going to happen. You could make them good if you want, if you have a good mindset about it. Finish what you start. Stop quitting stuff. Quitting is dangerous and it's could become habitual. So I tried to finish everything I started. It didn't, some things you have an inkling for something and it doesn't always work out, but try to get it done. You know, learn to look at things the best way. Bad is good. Somebody cuts you off, it could ruin your whole day if you let it. You could let that person into your mind and stress over it. Or you could tell yourself that guy probably has some big emergency. His child has a broken arm. He's trying to get that kid to the hospital. And that all of a sudden changes your whole perspective. If that's true or not, we don't know, but it just keeps you in a positive place. And that's important. You want to stay in a positive place. Keep people's negative comments out of your head. Don't let people tell you what you're worth. In life, it's happened to me as well, where I didn't mention it, but where somebody would try to take away my talent from me, like would actually try to remove my own self worth, and I would say run away, get out of those situations, go to places where people see your worth. Don't even bother trying to convince them. In my case, they were trying to save money and trying to get rid of people to leave naturally. So they would basically take you into a room and try to break you down mentally so that you would do that. And I didn't see that. I just let them live in my head and I got depressed. And I was so stupid. I should have just. Well, I get depressed, but I don't stay depressed long. I turn that depression into motivation and determination, and I will punish people who try to, in my own way. Like if you intentionally or unintentionally try to remove my self-worth, I will just leave you. I'll leave you in a bad place too, because you obviously did not care for me that much. So whatever, that's just me. Just don't stand for that. Don't let people tell you what you're worth. um we seek comfort, but the truth is, the things that are the hardest in our life is what shapes us the best. It's what makes us stronger. So keep that in mind when you have a problem that you're facing. Uh, if you're not happy at a place and you're not learning, the the clock is ticking. Just know that. You could lie to anybody in this world. You will never be able to lie to yourself. I knew at one point I was in a really happy place for a long time, but it started to get worse and worse over time. As time went on, I started losing my friends and the whole dynamic of where I was, and I wasn't learning either as I was teaching other people, which was great, but I wasn't learning anything. And at some point I just convinced myself, yeah, but it's safe and it's comfortable. I denied my own emotions, my own thoughts, and it put me in a really dark place until I eventually got the courage to leave and take a chance on something else. And I tell everybody this: don't get comfortable. If you're comfortable for too long, it will eventually punish you. You have to move ahead. You have to move forward. Pick your battles. Don't fight every battle that comes your way. I'm a fighter. I grew up with two brothers, so I always had to fight for my share, and it's in my nature. The truth is, in life, if you fight for everything, you're gonna be stressed too. There's a stress that comes with it. So pick your battles. My method of or my approach is I have to weigh and balance the stress with what am I going to lose here. The higher the amount of money, maybe the more stress it's worth, to get. So I fought some pretty big battles in my life for people who were trying to get thousands of dollars of out of me, and that's worth it. But sometimes it's not worth fighting over the smaller stuff. So pick your battles. Realize how small you are in this world. Your problems are just as small, if not smaller. Think about that. One of the things I do is I like to drive my car and go to a place where I can see the horizon, because I really get the sense of how small I am in comparison to the world. And then think about how small the world is in comparison to the galaxy and the universe, and you're smaller than all of that. Your problems are just as small as you are. It's even smaller, and they're often up in your mind. So they're not worth worrying about or holding on to all that much. Go find your happy place. Sometimes I just sit in this car and it makes me feel good because I'm sitting in my ultimate dream car, and the achievement of reaching this car reminds me of the fact that I'm capable of a lot and I'm capable of whatever I put my mind to. So find your happy place, go to places that do that for you. Sometimes it's an activity too. I used to ski. I found that because of the amount of mental focus you need to go down a hill and not die, you have to think only about what your body is doing as you're going down, and it puts everything else out of your mind. It's a great sport. There's other things like that you should do when you're not doing well. Force yourself to do something like that. I guess I could close it up, guys. I only have 2 paragraphs left I wanted to finish off with. Time is everything for investing, but also more important than that, time is basically the most precious commodity we have in life. There's nothing, you can't buy more of it, you can't make more of it. So you need to know something that we don't talk about often, but as you age, your perception of it it increases, it gets faster, and you have to really enjoy every single day and get up early in the morning, because a day for me now feels like 6 hours. So it's really, really short. So enjoy it. Enjoy the ride, even though there's some bad parts in the ride, and there's always the lows, always has a high waiting for it. The unwanted, scary parts are often the ones that make you feel stronger in the end. And the most fulfilled I've ever felt in my life, the joy I felt when I met my wife, of course, and I was in love with her. The second time I was most fulfilled ever was when I had this big challenge. I was joining a new team, and I I had doubts in myself, and I succeeded and excelled, actually, and surpassed even some people, and definitely surpassed what I thought I could do. And in a short amount of time, that was the happiest I've ever felt. I can't even describe the feeling of every day going into work felt amazing for me, and it's because through the friction I gained happiness. I gained the fact that I overcame my own self. That's what I would tell you guys, to try to find things that are going to challenge you, and work hard at them to make sure you succeed. But don't beat yourself up when you don't succeed. It's You'll get them on the next one. Success is not where you learn the most. I think you've heard that before. Failure is where we learn the most. So time is precious. Don't waste it on regrets either. Regrets are useless. The past is gone. The future hasn't happened yet. Just try to be in the moment. Put your phone down. Stop looking and scrolling. Try to be, active and aware of the moment, at all times. Live. Don't let your mind wander into too many places. You're not going to absorb where you are in life. So that's really, really important. Adjust your life to remove future regrets as well. If you think you're going to regret something in the future, which is where I'm at right now, I don't think I have a lot of regrets that are going to pop up. They're hard to identify, but I'm trying to make moves in my life right now to make sure that I don't have any regrets. Because there's a line that I heard a while back, was John Rohn who said it in one of his videos. I really loved it. And he said that if you think the cost for trying is too high, wait till you get the bill for the regret. And that hit me like a freight train. I'm like, yeah, yeah, I know exactly what he means. I have a long road ahead here if I want to be successful on YouTube, if I want to try to do my own thing and make money from my art. I have no idea how long, but it's a long road, and it's tempting to say it's not worth it. But when I heard that line, I'm like, I would hate to be an old man and regret not trying at least. So at least I'm gonna give it a go and say I gave it a try. So that's where I'm at. So that's all that's all the advice I think I can give. I hope you guys got something out of it. Um, Life is not easy, guys. It's just not from the day we're born. But embrace the friction, embrace the pain, and you're gonna have a better go at it. And if you don't see the answers to all of your questions, don't sweat it. They're gonna come to you, and it's just gonna happen naturally. Think of it this way: if any of us were thrown into the ocean, would you just allow yourself to sink to the bottom? I guarantee you, everybody is going to at least try to swim. You might get tired at some point, you know, and not be able to anymore, but you're definitely going to swim. You're going to do your best to stay afloat. Life is like that. You just, if it's going to, at some point, you're going to be thrown into an ocean unexpectedly, and you're going to have to learn how to swim out of it. And most of us do. Most of us do. And always remember, you're not alone either. There's people around you that can help, and I've had help in my life in the earlier years when I lost my job. My grandmother paid my rent that month, I remember. And now it's my turn to help the next generation if they're in trouble. I have nieces and nephews that if they needed me, I would be there for them too. And that's it, guys. Just enjoy the ride. It's a short one, and you realize that as you age. And I'm expecting it to get worse now as I go into my 60s. It's probably going to increase, but I'm really, really positive. I'm really in a happy place right now. I'm so happy to be doing this right now and talking with you guys, trying something different and drawing and having fun. And I feel comfortable with myself. I feel comfortable in my relationship and where we are in life. And I'm only expecting good things. One of the big mistakes I was doing, I think, in the last few years, because we're getting up at 5 in the morning, and it was getting really tiring. We would fall asleep right after dinner a lot, and we started talking a lot about retiring and retiring and retiring. I never spoke about retiring in my 30s and in my 40s. It only started, well, my late 40s, I started talking about retiring more because the fatigue of your body is starting to like set in. And my wife and I would start to almost fantasize about what it would be like to retire. And I think that's a mistake. Retirement, first of all, I think the mistake was believing that everything is going to be perfect once we get to retire because we could sleep in and we won't be so tired anymore and we'll have all this time. And we have this false perception again, once again, the future in this case is going to be better. We'll have a better life. And I know now that there's going to be problems that I don't have right now that I will have at that stage in my life. I might be dealing with some kind of new disease that I don't have right now. I'll have more money, I'll have more security, but I'll have physical issues that I'm not dealing with right now. Life is constantly doing this recalibration of rebalancing itself, and you have to deal with that recalibration. So now I'm just living in the moment. I'm dealing with some physical stuff, but it's manageable and it's all good. And I know I'm going to be trading one thing for the next in the future. That's just the way it goes. But it's okay. You just deal with it as you go and learn as you move forward from everything and keep your mindset in a good place. So that pretty much wraps it up, guys. If you're new to the channel, I would really appreciate if you'd give me a like and a subscribe. It helps me reach a bigger audience, and I could help more people with this kind of information. And if you're into art, into cars, my channel might be right up your alley. I know I'm just a blip on people's radar right now in the world of YouTube. But I really appreciate the fact that you guys got to the end of this video. It really means a lot to me. I hope I helped somebody out there. So be good to each other. Have a great day, a great night, and I'll see you on the next one.